DFG Science TV, Function Through Diversity, pioneering work in China, the largest ever forest experiment on biodiversity.
Dr. Walter Durker is the project leader of a team working on Sub-Project 4 of the largest forest experiment in China. This sub-project is looking at the genetic variation of trees and shrubs in subtropical forests.
Biological diversity is organized on different hierarchical levels ranging from ecosystems to habitats and to species. But also species are no fixed entities. And this is the level we are interested in, genetic variation at the species level. Here we approach two main routes. The first is we look on the performance of plants. And for this we use large-scale experiments like in China. The second route is using molecular markers and molecular level variation to understand the processes among and between individuals and populations in the field.
To carry out such studies, they first need to plant a large forest, for which the international team of researchers have raised their own trees and shrubs.
Here, my colleague Chaoyang Chen from the East China Normal University in Shanghai, myself, are standing in front of one of the two nurseries where we are growing the trees for the planting of the second block of the big experiment. We are growing 24 species of these evergreen trees. And of course, because we have to plant about 100,000 little treelets, we have to produce a big number of plants. The species that we are seeing here is Castanopsis sclerophylla. Sclerophylla means it has very hard leaves, and this is one of the dominant species here in the area. And it's a very important species in the whole research unit, and we do several things with it. In collaboration with Professor Chaoyang Chen, we are looking at the molecular genetic variation of the species in the field, in the natural plots, and we are also using it in the experiment. We take related plants, in this case seed families, that means these are offspring that all come from one mother, these are offspring from a second mother, these are offspring from a third mother, and then we plant them to the different plots in the main experiment. And then we can see whether there is genetic variation in the response to different species diversities in the main experiment. Here we see two seed beds with Rhus chinensis, also a very important tree to be used in the experiment. And we can see that it is performing very well in this seed bed, but it is not performing very well in this seed bed. We have very few plants here. And it's very interesting because it is the same species. So it is a very good example to show us that different seed families perform differently.
In order to be able to apply these findings to natural forests too, the researchers examined trees at different altitudes. The researchers found that trees at higher mountain elevations have the highest level of genetic diversity compared to those at lower altitudes. Although these trees grow at sites that might be only 5 kilometers apart, they exhibit significant genetic differences. In the lab, the researchers investigate the genetic variation of the trees, making use of their DNA. For this, they take so-called genetic fingerprints, which then can be statistically analyzed. Now the researchers can compare individual plants or plant populations with each other and determine whether they've been affected by environmental factors or human exploitation. The diversity of life is the result of genetic diversity, and the forest experiment in China aims to help us understand the role that the genetic diversity of trees plays for the functioning of subtropical forests.
Visit DFG Science TV for more information. Awaken the researcher within you.